Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Wednesday edition of the Taking the Points show with the legend Jay Gruden as well as his son JJ taking the points. Coach Jay, how you feeling after a long weekend in Cleveland?
Feel great. Not the best picks I've ever had, but today's another week. It's a bounce back week.
It is a bounce back week. We have the official records now moving forward. I'm going to show those in a minute, but before we get to that, JJ, what's going up, man?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Dad, you were called a legend. That's pretty cool.
JJ's repping. We got to get the brothers on here soon, John and Jay. JJ is repping the new Bet Jack Polo. JJ's Magic played tonight. All weekend long when JJ was in Cleveland, he was chirping me. In the comments, let me know, are the Magic going to be good this year? JJ, how good are they going to be? You said what? You're taking them at 50 wins? Did I hear that right when you were here?
I don't know if I said 50. I was a little hammered, but I definitely said over 45 wins. I think they have at least 45 wins this year. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to get in as like a 6 or 7 seed. Watch. I mean, but the most magic thing that could happen is they get into the playing game as a 7 seed and they just lose the next 3 games and they miss the playoffs that way. But they're going to be in as a 7 seed. I can guarantee it. They're going to make it move into the playoffs. This is their building year. They're going to be good this year. They're going to even be better next year, and they're going to be better after that the following year. So watch out for Orlando.
I was giving you some excess. I was chirping you a little bit while you were here. Give us some highlights from your weekend while you were here.
Ooh, I'll give you the top 3. I think let's see. Number 3 was definitely dinner. Dinner was awesome. We had some dinner, us 3, and then my family was with us too. It was a good time, good dinner, good lobster, fire lobster. Number 2 has to be the nuts on the table play of the weekend. The Baltimore Ravens -3. Lamar Jackson scores on the opening touchdown. I win a $20 or $100 pot of who scores the first touchdown on Sunday on the 1 p.m. slates. Take that one down. Take the Baltimore Ravens max play down. That was awesome. I have to say, I think number 1's got to be Friday night, our first night in the casino, where my pops is down to his last $100, and he ends up going to the roulette table, putting it all on red 5 and hitting it for the jackpot there at 36-1, which was insane. So, I mean, I think it was a pretty good weekend overall.
It was fun. We enjoyed having you guys here. As you can see, we're talking basketball a little bit. I got my Cavs jersey on. I still got the Bet Jack underneath. It's under here, but we're rocking the Cavs. Jay, who's going to have the better record? I want you to settle this first and for all. Who's going to have the better record this year, the Cavs or the Magic? Then we'll get going.
We'll go with the Magic. I'm on with JJ. I trust JJ's basketball knowledge. He's been a Magic fan for a long time. Been through a lot of tough times with them Orlando Magic. He feels good about the Magic. I feel good about the Magic.
We're going to see how they do this year. I'm taking Rockets money line tonight, JJ. I'm taking Rockets money line tonight.
Stupid bet. Stupid bet. Continue your losing streak. Show that record, too, when you got you're 86 and 115. That's probably going to do a lot with it.
Let's get into it.
People to take the Rockets with you.
Let's start rolling. Here we go. Overall records so far. I'm really pulling the wagon on the bottom here. Coach Jay, any words of advice or wisdom as you have taken the lead so far through 7 weeks?
Well, it's not hard to beat you two clowns. Just got to study the games, study the personnel, the quarterbacks. You got to find out who's playing too, Grant. You know what I mean? Just don't make reckless bets where you don't know who the starting quarterback is. So pay attention to who's playing. You're not going to win them all. Don't go crazy, but have fun with it. And that would tail me, not you guys.
All right. You heard the man. Tail him this week. I looked at these graphics when we submit them, and I tell you, I'm on the other side of a lot of you guys so far this week. But here we go. Let's get into it. Bucs, Bills, Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. I'm on the Bills to cover. And I'll tell you why. Letdown game against the Patriots. JJ, we were watching the sportsbook this past weekend. It was brutal. JJ says fire every time he places a live bet. And I heard a lot of fires over the weekend, and one of them happened to be on this game, and sure enough, it didn't work out. I'm just Baker Mayfield, the demise. We said it on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He's turning it back a little bit. JJ, you're on the Bucs to cover though here, so walk me through it.
I think there's a couple of reasons. I mean, the Bills' defense has been awful. They haven't been good. I mean, they have everybody pretty much playing except for 2 guys, Milano and Tre'Davious White, but that's the heart and soul. You got the heart in Milano and the soul in Tre'Davious White. They're both gone. So right now, I think they look a little lost on defense. You don't give up 29 points to the Patriots, who haven't scored a touchdown in 2 of their last 3 games beforehand. So it was a little sad to see them give up 29 points to a New England team. So didn't like the way they looked on defense. Offensively, they couldn't get the run game going. They couldn't really do much on offense. I'm not sure really what was going on there, but just from those 2 points, I think I got to go with the Bucs. Bucs are looking to prove something here. Bulls all time against the Buccaneers, who's 6-3 straight up. So I like the coaching matchup here. I think it's going to be tight, but I think the Bucs find a way to cover. Not necessarily win the game outright, but I think they find a way to cover the 8.5 points.
See, Coach Jay, I'm going to come to you now. I know you're obviously, as the pick showed, you're on the Bucs to cover here as well. But again, record not good. But I think the Bills win this game by 10 plus. Is that an absurd take, Coach?
It's not absurd. You know, the Buccaneers have had trouble. They've only had 300 yards. I don't think they average under 300 yards of offense. They struggle a little bit on offense as well. I just took the Bucs to cover because, like JJ said, the injuries. Ed Oliver is also out. They also lost another defensive lineman. And I just think that the Buccaneers are better than the way they're playing. I think they have Mike Evans and they have good receivers. And Baker can get the ball out to him. Rashad White should be able to get some holes this week. So I just think it'll be a closer game than people think. And the Bucs are a little bit better than people think. And they're battling for the NFC South title. I mean, they got to keep pace.
They do have to keep pace. We talked about it this weekend. That division is just not going to be good this year. So, again, I think the Bills win by 10 plus on tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football. But as we always do, we'll have to wait and find out. Next game on the slate, Browns Seahawks. I'm taking a homer pick here, and here's why. PJ Walker is starting this week again for the Cleveland Browns. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to Seattle, tough place to play. But I think they can cover. They might lose this game, honestly. But I think they can cover with that field goal. Again, Geno Smith hasn't looked great the past few weeks. Great year last year. He's a good quarterback, and that defense is always good. And again, as we mentioned, the 12th man there is absolutely outrageous. It sounds like DK Metcalf will be back. So I'm giving all signs to point towards Seattle, But JJ, I'm taking the Browns to cover here. Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it until my guy PJ Walker loses a game. I'm going to continue to ride him. Do the Seahawks win this game pretty easily for you, JJ?
I would say pretty easily because I still like the defense from the Browns. I think they're going to bounce back in a big way. I mean, they gave up 38 points to the Colts last week, which was bizarre seeing Gardner Minshew run that offense, but especially with how good they played the week before against San Fran. But going on the road here, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very difficult. Like, you go back-to-back road games. Went to Indianapolis, came back. Now they got to go back to Seattle. We know how I feel about back-to-back road games with all that travel time. But anyway, so I'm going to look at the Seattle's offense. I think they're going to basically run it down y'all's throats because you guys couldn't really stop. It seemed like Jonathan Taylor after him coming back, putting up 60 yards. Zach Moss threw another 40 on, a couple touchdowns rushing. Now you got a big back in Kenneth Walker, and he's just steamrolling teams left and right getting the football after rushing for almost 100 yards against the Cardinals last week. So I think they're going to kind of put the game in their hands, and they're going to ball control pretty well for this whole game. Not give PJ Walker a lot of opportunity. I like to see Seattle Seahawks by touchdown.
Coach, I wanted to ask you something about the Cleveland Browns here. A lot of people were asking me, do you think it is weird that they named Dorian Thompson-Robinson the backup before the season started? PJ Walker hasn't looked great when he's had to play. I know he's 2-0, but do you think it's weird that they haven't considered giving him another shot and giving him all first-team reps? Or do you think PJ Walker moving forward until Watson is healthy is the right choice?
PJ's played more football, and for the time being, I think the experience means a lot. So I go with the experienced quarterback, let the young kid develop, and when he's ready, he'll get an opportunity maybe in a year or two. But, I took Seattle in this game as well. I think the rabbit foot falls out of the Browns' pants. I don't think that will last much longer. They've had the luckiest wins I've ever seen. That game against Indianapolis was a joke. Everybody knows it. They should have lost. You know it, Grant. I know it. That was a ripoff. They got ripped. So I'm taking the Seahawks today. I think Geno Smith has a bounce-back game. It'll be a low-scoring game, I believe, but I think Seahawks pull it out.
As big of an Ohio and Cleveland fan as I am, they didn't deserve to win that game. We got to get something has to change with the NFL refs. Like, they came out and said they made the wrong calls, but that's not good enough, right? So what's gonna give or what's gonna change? Because something has to.
The only thing that can possibly change is if they start reviewing more things. I think a good start would be if they reviewed end zone plays, pass interference, holdings. That's a good start. They review all touchdowns anyway, so why not make PIs and non-PIs also reviewable, because those are huge plays in the end zone and change the course of the game and obviously change playoff seedings and all that.
When you were coaching, did you ever lose a game the way the Colts lost that game due to the refs just absolutely botching you?
Yeah, I lost a few. Yeah. It happens. The refs are human. They make mistakes. I mean, you can't expect them to be perfect, but when you lose a game because of a call that turns the tide, changes the momentum, it's frustrating because you put so much work in throughout the week to get ready for a game and then have it turned around because of a yellow flag or non-yellow flag. It's frustrating.
And it didn't even work out for you because although the Browns win, they didn't cover and you had them to cover. So it was a lose-lose situation for everybody there. Moving on to the next game on the slate. Bengals 49ers. Disclaimer, this line has moved a little bit. It is now 49ers minus 3.5 with the news that just came out a couple hours ago that Brock Purdy is not going to play in this game due to concussion protocol. So it will be Sam Darnold for the 49ers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Coach Jay, does that change your mind at all? Or are you still going to take the 49ers to cover the 3.5 now with Sam Darnold at the helm?
That's a big difference. Although Purdy has struggled a little bit as of late, Sam Darnold gives him a little bit more arm talent, a little bit more athleticism, but not quite the accuracy and anticipation that Brock Purdy gives him. So I'm still going to lay with the 49ers. The Bengals have bothered me the way they played offensive football. They're starting to pick it up a little bit. Joe Burrow's starting to get more healthy, but I got to see it in consecutive weeks for me to start believing in Cincinnati again. I know they have the talent on their football team to make a serious run like they did last year, but I just got to see it. So I'm going to stick with 49ers, and I expect the 49er defense to play a lot better than they played against Minnesota.
Joe Burrow did say today in a press conference interview that he is very, very, very close to being 100% healthy with that calf injury. JJ, your boy Brock Purdy, I told you, he's starting to struggle a little bit. Show why he was the last pick in the draft. I'm excited for this game because we're actually going to see, like, if Sam Darnold comes in and just balls out, then any quarterback could go into that system that Kyle Shanahan's got going over there and succeed.
Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. Relax. He was a first-round draft pick.
JJ, I'm telling you.
And there's been a lot of quarterbacks that haven't succeeded, all right? Trey Lance is on the Cowboys. I don't know. Where's Mullins at? He didn't succeed. These guys – you guys act like this offense is some gift of God. I mean, it's a normal offense. It's not that good. Everybody can succeed when you have Pro Bowlers at running back, 2 at receiver, 1 at tight end, 1 at left tackle.
This is my point. This is what I'm saying and I'm not saying Sam Darnold's bad by any means. All I'm saying is if Sam Darnold comes in and just does really well, then it's not oh my God, Brock Purdy is this great quarterback that a lot of people, including JJ, were trying to make me believe that he was. Right, JJ?
Right. Look, I think, but Brock is fine, man. He's gonna stub his toe. He lost 2 games in a row. Yeah, so what? We talked about he's not gonna look good. We talked about earlier. There was gonna be this time in the season where they may struggle. We just saw it. He's hurt. Maybe he comes back the week after that. He gets a little bit better and he learns from what he did the last couple games. But look, this is a good buy low spot for San Francisco. I don't care who's at quarterback. Sam Darnold's a great fit for this offense, I believe. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to come up with a good scheme, try to get some guys open for him. He's very quarterback friendly when it comes to guys coming in off the bench because we saw it with Brock Purdy. We saw it with Jimmy Garoppolo when he came in for Trey Lance when he got hurt. So, I mean, he'll have something ready for this Bengals team. And the Bengals, they have not been good offensively. Right now, they're ranked 4th to last in the league in passing yards with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. With that offense, it's kind of, annoying to watch, especially as a Jamar Chase fantasy owner. Look for them to kind of get suffocated again this week. The San Francisco defense is going to step up in a big way. I like San Fran here in a really, really good buy low spot here.
I mean, look, Brock Purdy's probably a great human being. I have nothing against him. I'm not this big hater, but I want to just make sure that he can actually succeed when stuff doesn't go his way with injuries and all this stuff. So again, I think he's going to come back and find success because, I mean, the record that he had isn't a fluke by any means. But let's move to Rams Cowboys, next game on the slate. I don't know what's going on here, fellas. Like I said, I'm on the opposite side of everybody. JJ, I'm coming right back to you. What makes you think the Rams are going to cover in this game on the road after an absolute letdown at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers last week? And I will say that call, it looked like they didn't have the first down, Kenny Pickett. But, I mean, Dallas coming off a bye. They're fresh. How are you feeling here? What makes you think that they're going to cover?
Look, I saw the 6.5 points. And this season, when there was a 6.5 point favorite, the underdog covers 75% of the time. I'm not saying that this is going to be, a Cowboys win or, this is a confident pick in mine, but just seeing that 6.5, that screams to me like a cover in some way, some form. I think a kicker's going to miss a kick or something's going to happen on those lines where the Rams get the cover at the end of the day. Defensively, they still got Aaron Donald. They'll stop the run. They're going to have to rely on Dak Prescott. The only thing that scares me is Mike McCarthy. He's 2-1 against the spread coming off a bye with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 2-0 at home right now. Saying all that makes me want to take the Cowboys, and seeing how the Rams played last week against Pittsburgh Steelers. They look putrid on offense, but I think they get things back to going. I think Sean's going to dedicate this one to his new kid that he just had the other day. They're going to get a win. They're going to find a way to get it done, hopefully.
You're kind of talking yourself out of your own pick there, Coach Jay. I'm disappointed. You were selling me on the Cowboys all year long, and now you're fading them in Week 8 against the Rams.
I like the Cowboys, but I think that I'm not mistaken. I got to look at the past, but I know Sean has usually done pretty good against Dallas. Going to Dallas, they have a good game plan. He knows that defense pretty well coming from Washington. We've always had success against that front and the way they play. So I'm just taking the history of Sean McVay against the Dallas Cowboys, whether he's with us or with the Rams. More so with the Rams, not with us.
I was not as hype as you were about the Cowboys before the season started. Now it feels like the roles are reversed a little bit. I think the Cowboys are going to really hit their stride here coming up and start to take off out of this bye week. Vikings, Packers. Here we go. We'll keep moving along here. It's about damn time we're all on the same page, and we're all on the over. Actually, it makes me nervous as shit. But Jordan Love has not looked good the past few weeks. Coach, we were watching the game at the book. That terrible interception against the Broncos last week to seal the game. I know I think you had a fire on the Packers live in that game, so not good for you. But the Vikings are hitting their stride. I mean, they just beat the 49ers. They're looking good. Kirk Cousins probably not going to go anywhere, obviously, now with them winning. I think they win this game pretty easily, Coach, in the Vikings.
Yeah, I think that it's looking that way. Minnesota's won a couple games now. They're getting their confidence back, and Kirk Cousins is really playing a high level. Everybody I thought included, that Justin Jefferson was going to be a huge negative not playing. He wouldn't have anybody to throw to, but Addison stepped up. Obviously, Hockerson is stepping up and making some plays, but Kirk is putting the ball where it needs to go. He's been impressive. And you're right. I think Jordan Love is on a downfall right now, and it's coming crashing down pretty quick. He's got to turn it around. I think he's got the skill set to be able to do it, but he's got to make some plays. He's got to make some plays quickly for Green Bay to get back in this playoff race. I just think right now I'm taking Kirk Cousins over Jordan Love.
JJ, I'm pretty shocked that this line, again, I know the Vikings are 3-4, whatever, but it is in Lambeau, but I was shocked that this line was a pick 'em going in today. Like I said, I think the Vikings, your Vikings win this game just super easily, man.
I don't know about super easy. I mean, it's a divisional game. Packers defense is still pretty good. I mean, the offense for Green Bay needs to step up. Minnesota, credit to them though. I mean, they have been doing really well defensively. That's what I'm most impressed of. I mean, they limited San Fran to 17 or 18 points last week. I mean, they did good the week before. They're starting to slowly creep up that NFC North standings, and the Lions better watch out. Luckily for the Lions, they have an easy test this week against Oakland or Las Vegas. I mean. But no, I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's undefeated at home on the road this year. Call him away, Kirk Cousins. He's going to play good at Lambeau, I feel like. The weather's not going to be too bad for him. He'll be slinging the ball around. Hopefully they get something going. But yeah, I mean, it is a weird spread. I think Vikings do pull this one out, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. But Vikings get it done.
JJ, the Vikings are 2-1 on the road this season.
Who do they lose to? 2-1 against the spread?
Oh, you said against the spread. I thought you were talking straight on money line. Gotcha.
Oh.
Gotcha. Apologies. Let's move on. Here we go. Falcons, Titans. Coach, this game's interesting. I want to get your thoughts on it. Again, I am this is the week where I'm going to make it up. And I'll tell you why. Ryan Tannehill's not playing. So you guys really think that Will Levis and Malik Willis are going to come in and cover against a Falcons team that is 4-3? I mean, JJ, what is the thought process here, man? And I feel like I have said that 20,000 times this year, and clearly it hasn't worked out in my favor. But, I mean, we don't know what Will Levis is going to do, and we know Malik Willis has had troubles throwing the football more than 10 yards when they've asked him to. So how do the Titans cover here?
This is bait. It's bait. It's bait. Yes, it is. It is bait. I believe in the Titans defense this week. I believe in them. I don't believe in Ritter at all. I think that they're gonna push a lot of pressure on him. I don't think Ritter's gonna be able to do what he can do, which hasn't been nothing all season. But I like the Titans to figure out a way to get it done. I think they're just gonna run the ball out of Derrick Henry. I know that he's on the trading block this year, and who knows, maybe they want to get some more value. Look for a big game out of Derrick Henry. They're gonna control this game on the ground and hopefully do on the defensive side of the ball. It's gonna be a low scoring game, but I feel like the Titans are gonna pull it off. That's
another reason I'm off the Titans, Coach, is because the Titans are having a fire sale right now. Derrick Henry's he's halfway to Baltimore per these reports right now. And then you've got DeAndre Hopkins, who's on his way out. It's a train wreck in Tennessee, and I think the Falcons win this game, Coach.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. This is a tough one. I just felt guilty. Last week I took a lot of home home dogs I bet against them, and they all covered, every home dog. So this is another home dog. I just took Tennessee because I think Derrick Henry will get going. They're at home. They had a week off. Mike Vrabel's pretty good after the bye, and I think it'll be a close, low-scoring game. Will Levis will make a few throws. He got a cannon of an arm. Maybe he'll get DeAndre Hopkins moving a little bit and make some plays down the field. So I'm just taking the home dog.
So you do like Will Levis then? How'd you like him coming out of college? You think he has high
He's
potential?
got a big, strong arm. Obviously, he can rip it, and he's a tough kid. But how he handles adversity, anticipation, the pass rush of the Atlanta Falcons is yet to be determined. Obviously, he's got a skill set for the game, but you never know till they throw him in the game and the lights are on and the plays matter.
They did say out there in Tennessee too that we can expect to see both quarterbacks in the game, and they did that earlier in the preseason and some. I believe it was early this year too when they had to with Ryan Tannehill's injured. So we'll see. The dual quarterbacks in one game is pretty weird to me. I know Malik Willis is very athletic and can run. But Saints Colts next game on the slate here. We'll keep them rolling. Everyone is on the Saints to cover here. I am the only one on the over. JJ, you're on the under here. The Colts just put up 38 on the Browns defense, and the Saints just put up, I believe it was 24 against the Jags last week. So walk me through the under mindset here. As again, I tend to lean over here.
Again, I mean, the New Orleans Saints, they're 6-1 this year against on the unders. The last over that hit was just last week against Jacksonville. I think that they're a good defensive team. I think they're going to limit Gardner Minshew. I think the Colts did a lot offensively. I think they slowed down a little bit this week. Again, this is going to be a tight ball game. I'm not really sure who's going to win this one. It's more of a coin flip for me. Both teams aren't very good. I still don't believe in the Colts, even though they almost beat the Browns last week. I think that could have took a lot of momentum out of them too. So that's why I ended up taking the Saints.
Jay, how are we feeling about Derek Carr, coach, in New Orleans? 1,600 yards on the nose, 6 touchdowns, 4 picks so far this year. How are you feeling about Derek Carr in their 3-4 record so far?
Not feeling great at all about either one of these teams, to be honest with you right now. Derek Carr's got to calm down and play his game and worry about himself. Too many mess ups by the receivers. They're not on the same page for whatever reason. I'm hoping that they have a good meeting this week and good preparation and guys know where they're going, because Derek expects that to happen when they're not where they're supposed to be going. If they run a go route and they stop, that's a problem. Quarterbacks like Derek Carr get very angry. But he needs to calm down. He's got a young football team, coach him up, and I think they're going to get better and better. I think Rashid Shaheed's going to have a couple big plays. Michael Thomas will get back involved. You saw what Alvin Kamara's getting ready to do. They do have some injured linemen, which I'm concerned about, but I think Derek Carr bounces back this week and has a big day.
JJ, do you know Chris Olave was just arrested for the reckless driving? Is he going to play this weekend, or do you know? Have you seen any reports there?
I don't know. I think he is. I mean, they didn't have any kind of suspension report or anything like that, so. Right. They might discipline him later. That's what happened with, Alvin Kamara too. I mean, he beat someone up like 2 years ago and he finally got suspended this year. So,
yeah. Well, some of the way the NFL handles some of these punishments is pretty interesting to me, but we'll see. We'll see what they do there. I just traded Chris Olave in fantasy, so I no longer have him on my team. Let's get a fantasy update. Coach Jay, how you doing in fantasy? Weren't you 2-5 in 2 leagues last week? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, probably. I think I'm 1-7 and 2-6. I don't know. How many games have been played? 8?
7.
7.
2-5 and 1-6, baby. Couple injuries, couple key injuries in my players.
JJ, how we looking?
4-3, my big one. 6-1 in another one, and I'm 5-2 in another. So looking pretty good. 500 in all of them.
Do either of you get into fantasy basketball at all? I feel like a popular take. No.
I'm barely into fantasy football.
Yeah, fantasy baseball and basketball just seem like way too much. You have to set your lineup every day. I'm always on the waiver wire every day for fantasy football, but it just seems like too much. Let's keep moving. Pats Dolphins next game on this NFL Week 8 slate. Coach is the only one taking the Dolphins to cover in this game. Jay, is that offense going to get back on track? Are they going to roll New England this week?
I think so. I think New England will play some zone, but Belichick likes to play a lot of man coverage with outside leverage with help either from the free safety or linebackers. Does a really good job of it, but this is a team that you really can't play a lot of man on. They don't have the speed at corner to keep up with these guys. And if they want to play zone, and I think they're not really good enough up front to get pressure that you need when you play zone. So that's why I took the Dolphins. I think they explode back onto the scene and win by 2 touchdowns or so.
These two teams did play each other in week 2, and the Dolphins won that game 24-17. So, JJ, you're with me on the Patriots covering. They covered in their first game. If the spread was 9.5 in week 2, which it probably wasn't. But did that game in week 2 go into your mindset of taking the Patriots to cover here?
No, actually, I'm looking at the spread now, and I think I misclicked of who I really wanted on this game
Oh,
because I
boy.
really like the
Oh,
Dolphins.
boy.
I
Oh,
do
boy.
like the Dolphins. I'm going to sell the Dolphins. I want to change it to the Dolphins.
Audible.
I'm sorry to say it, but Bill Belichick, did you know, or the Patriots all time 17-41 in Miami. Bill Belichick, I mean, with Tom Brady, I mean, he was like 24-12, I believe the record was. But this is a weird one for me too. They're going to struggle getting the run game going. The Dolphins have one of the best run defenses in the league, and if they can't get Ramondre Stevenson going and Zeke Elliott going, they're going to have a hard time getting the pass game going. And I think that's what the Dolphins are going to do to them. And then the Dolphins are going to do what the Dolphins do and just score a bunch of points, and the Patriots won't be able to keep up because they can't just rely on the pass the whole time. So I got to go with the Dolphins.
Coach Jay, the Dolphins are 5-2. But the teams that they have beaten so far, the Chargers, who are 2-4, Patriots, who are 2-5, Broncos, who are terrible, the Giants, who are not good, and the Panthers, who are not good, are the Dolphins are a good football team. But does that concern you that these 5 wins that they have are against? It's a cupcake schedule to get to 5-2.
Yeah, it does concern me a little bit, but the Patriots are struggling. And like JJ said, I don't think they'll be able to run the ball against Miami. And I think they're really going to struggle when they have to throw it. That's why I'm taking Miami. I think Miami's good enough offensively to score 24 plus points. I just don't know how New England's going to manufacture those points to cover the spread. Now, they did look better against Buffalo last week, which is good, but I got to see them do it. One time out of 7 games is not good enough for me. I got to see more.
Yeah, I just want to see the Dolphins beat a good team. That's all I want to see. Jets, Giants. We'll keep rolling here. I am on the Giants to cover as well as Coach Jay. JJ, you are taking the Jets to cover -3 in this game. How are you feeling about the Jets and Zach Wilson? And obviously you're taking them to cover. You're also on the under, which you guys are both, this is a really low under. Tyrod Taylor has impressed me in the action that he's had so far, JJ.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets, though, have all the confidence in the world. They're coming off a bye. They had a big win against the Eagles. I mean, they're playing at an all-time high right now. I think that momentum's going to carry over here against a bad Giants team. The Giants they also lost 7 straight when they are the underdogs in all the games. And I mean, this game is really a home field advantage for both teams. I'm not sure who's going to come out for either, but it's not going to be loud for either team. I just think that the defense for the Jets are going to shut down Tyrod and that weak Giants offense. I have a feeling the Jets will put up a few points, not a lot, but just enough to squeak out the win and get the cover.
I know we're talking spread here, Coach Day, but God damn it, the Giants are going to win this game outright at home. What do you think?
Well, first of all, we'll be loud, JJ. This is a big game in that state, the Jets and Giants. It's going to be loud. It's going to be loud, okay?
For who?
For the Jets. The Giants.
For the Jets, it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud for both.
It's gonna be loud. The Jets are playing pretty good right now. I just took the Giants because I think their defensive front was really impressive last week. I think the play is the under. I think both teams have to run the ball. The clock will move a lot. I don't think there'll be any big plays at all. The Jets can't get a big play, and I know the Giants won't get a big play with the corners that the Jets have. So it's going to be ball control, punt. The only way it goes over is if there's some pick sixes and some kickoff returns or something like that. But it's going to be a low-scoring game. I just took the points.
Putting your hands in the.
I like that. I like a defensive touchdown in this game. That sounds interesting.
JJ, putting your hands in the money of Zach Wilson is always a bold strategy. So we'll see how it pays off for you, man. Jags, Steelers. Everyone is on the Jags to cover. I'm on the over, the only one on the over. I think the Steelers are going to put up some points in this game, but the Jags are rolling, and I think they're going to steamroll the Steelers in Pittsburgh this week. JJ, we don't usually do this, but I have seen some people hit final score prediction bets. So I want you to give me a final score prediction if you had to say in this game, and I'm going to put $5 on it, and we'll see if we hit a lottery ticket. So if you can, Jags Steelers final score prediction.
20-13 Jaguars. I like 20-13. This season, Kenny Pickett is a second half quarterback. I think Jaguars, they're going to get off to a hot start. Kenny Pickett this season so far, and I've been doing my Kenny Pickett research because I don't like the guy. But second half, he is impressive. He threw for 720 yards, and he has a completion percentage of like 70% in the second half. In the first half, he's only throwing for 320 yards, and the completion percentage like 56%, something crazy like that. I think the Jaguars are just playing too good of football right now. They turn on the Jets. They're going to keep up the pressure in the AFC South. I like them to kind of roll here and just kind of ball control. It's going to be tough in Pittsburgh, but I think they get the job done.
Coach Jay, the only thing that concerns me here is Mike Tomlin and those Pittsburgh Steelers, man. They find a way to win every single week, and you can't discredit it. And that's why, although I'm so confident on the Jags, Mike Tomlin and those Steelers, they just find a way to win, and that's why I get so nervous to fade them when I do.
Yeah, I switched this one at the last minute because Steelers as a home dog is quite comical to me. I don't think they should ever be a home dog. It's one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. It's loud and it's intimidating. It can be at times. And those guys from Pittsburgh, they play great defense at home for whatever reason. They get off the snap count extremely well. TJ Watt is a monster down there. So it's going to be a tough game. I took Jacksonville just because I think they'll get at least 20 points, and I think they'll hold Pittsburgh to 13 or under 13 points. So that's why I took them.
20 to 13, JJ. I'm holding you to it. I'm putting $5 on it. I will let you know what the odds are after the show when I put that $5 on 20 to 13 Jags. Eagles Commanders. I'm coming right back to you, Coach. You're on them to cover, but your boy Sam Howell out there looks like he's struggling a little bit. Division game. It's going to be close. I believe these two teams already did play this year, and that game was close. Yeah, the Eagles won by 3, high-scoring contest. So walk us through the mindset of the Commanders covering at home in this game against the Eagles.
It's a big game for Washington. There's a lot of people all over the team, the coaches, everything. They haven't looked good. They looked horrible against the Giants offensively. They couldn't pick up a blitz. They couldn't do anything on offense. It was an embarrassment. I think they bounced back. There's a lot of pride in that locker room. I know that. I know the defense will step up and play some good snaps. They got to figure out the corner situation, though. Who's going to cover A.J. Brown? That was a nightmare the last time they played. Might have to play a little bit more zone. But I just think in this game, this division rival game, it's going to be close. Within a field goal usually is.
JJ, thoughts on Eagles Commanders this Sunday?
I agree. I think the Commanders, they faced scrutiny before when they lost and they got their asses kicked against the Bills and then also against the Bears. And they came out the following week and they put up points. They kept them in games. They didn't win against the Eagles, but they kept it close. They should have won that game. And they beat the Falcons on the road, another big win. So coming off another loss, a bad loss, I think that they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And again, the 6.5 points is a scary number, man. It is a scary number when it comes to sports betting on the NFL. And I think they find a way to cover.
Coach Jay, has Jalen Hurts disappointed you at all a little bit this year? They're 6-1, but numbers wise, 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Has he disappointed you at all this year with that turnover to touchdown ratio?
Not really, because he's made a lot of plays too that's helped them win and get in the position where they're at. They're 6-1. There are not many teams that are 6-1, and he's the reason for it. They have a good defense, but he makes plays with his legs. He's been efficient with the ball. They play a ball control style of offense, which fits him perfectly. He gets it to the right people. The tush push is unstoppable. Surely he's thrown more interceptions than he probably would like to have thrown, but I like Jalen Hurts, and he's the reason why they're the cream of the crop in the NFC.
Coach, I'm coming right back. Most disappointing, I think I know your answer to this question. Most disappointing quarterback so far this season. I think I know your answer, but let's hear it.
Well, I said Russell Wilson, just because when Sean Payton got there, everybody's like, hey, Russell Wilson is going to be old Russell Wilson. Just hasn't happened yet. It takes some time to learn a new offense, but the skill that he has, obviously the history that he has with the Seahawks, Super Bowls, you would think that with Sean Payton paired up would be 30-plus points a game. It has not been that easy, though.
Coach Gruden, how would you stop the tush push from Capwise? Jay, how you stopping the tush push?
I don't know. You got to go sign some big fellas and get them in there. By the way, the other disappointing quarterback would be Deshaun Watson. Wouldn't it be, Grant?
Jay, so you said Russell Wilson. I thought you were going to say Deshaun Watson. So you caught me off guard. Guard. JJ, who's your most disappointing quarterback so far this year? Is it Deshaun Watson or is it Russell Wilson or is it somebody else?
It's probably got to be Russ, right? It's got to be Russ. I would probably have to go Russell Wilson. Nothing really to say there.
Gotcha.
I think another one for me with the expectations of greatness is Justin Herbert. He's struggled a little bit. He's thrown some bad interceptions. You mentioned the interceptions in crunch time. I didn't know about that. He's missed some throws that have been wide open, and he's got to step it up for the Chargers to get back in the race. I'm sure we're going to talk about them in a minute.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I just similar to Brock Purdy, I always chirp Justin Herbert, man. That guy, fraud in my opinion, straight fraud. Let's keep moving on. Texans, Panthers. Everyone's on the Texans coming off. I believe they're coming off the bye to steamroll here, the Panthers. I love what they have brewing, and I got to give Coach tons of credit here. I didn't think C.J. Stroud was going to be very good coming out of college, especially being an Ohio State guy, probably pretty odd, but the man is slinging the football. Nico Collins is a stud. He's blossoming. That relationship is growing. Coach Jay, we don't have to spend too much time on this because, again, the Panthers are 0-6. Do you think that the spread being just 3 is weird, given that the Panthers are 0-6?
You know, I've had problems betting against these home dogs, and this is another one. I'm like, I don't know if I can do it again, but I just think they're a lot better. I think CJ's having a good year, like you mentioned. Their defense is playing well. I'm trying to take the better team, but for whatever reason, home dogs have covered at an alarming rate this year in the NFL.
JJ, thoughts on this spread, considering, like I just mentioned, that the Panthers are 0-6? I mean, they got to win at some point, right? I don't think they're not going to win a game this year. They have some talent. They're going to win one game, but
Yeah, I mean they're 1-5 against the spread, and this is the game to do it. Frank Wright's, I think he's like 5-0 coming off a bye in his career against the spread. So I mean this is the one to do it. I believe Carolina has a new play caller. I think they relieved or Frank Wright gave
Thomas
his,
Brown.
Yeah, Thomas Brown is now the play caller. So I'm not really sure how that's going to affect Bryce Young, if it affects him positively or negatively. But I don't know. But I'm more to the point where I don't believe in Bryce Young yet. I think he's too small, and the Texans defense is playing pretty good, and I think the Texans find a way to get it done.
I'm with you. I don't believe him yet, but man, let's get the kid a win, Panthers. He's obviously got to help and do his part, but not turn the ball over. But I want to see the Panthers get on the board. Chiefs, Broncos, next game on the slate here. We're in the 4:00 games, only a couple more left. I almost went Broncos to cover in this game, JJ. Would that have been a Mickey Mouse horseshit bet if I would have taken the Broncos to cover here?
No, because I took the Broncos the 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So, but I don't know. It's tough, right? They're playing in Denver. I'm trying to see how the line kind of went about, because I think when they were in Kansas City was a 9.5-point favorite. Now they're only 7. I think they were at 8, 7.5, and the spread's just going down. So it was weird that they opened that low still, and what they did against Denver the first time. But it definitely could be a trap. It definitely could be a trappy kind of a line. I actually took this play, and I have like a parlay of the week where I've taken a few home favorites, or just favorites overall. And Kansas City didn't make the cut because I was very suspect of this game. So it definitely could happen.
JJ, have you seen the stats of your girl T Swift in attendance versus when she's not? How much better
Is
he
she
is?
not going to the game?
I don't know if she's going, but you were really, really tired of the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce stuff on NFL Sunday, are you not?
I'm a little annoyed by it. If I really wanted to enjoy Taylor Swift, I mean, I would go talk to my wife for all Sunday long or whatever. I'm not going to do that. No, I don't want to see that.
I believe when we were together in the sports book on Sunday, you fired off a tweet about Taylor Swift being overrated or something. So I got a good laugh out of that. Jay,
Yeah.
You're on the Chiefs to cover here. Again, I almost took the Broncos coming off of their win. They're 2-5 now, but do you think this game's close, or do you think that this one gets decided pretty easily by KC here?
Another home dog, but Kansas City's got top 5 defense. They got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. They're healthy. Running backs are good. Offensive line's in good shape. I think they're just a better team, and I think Patrick Mahomes does things that no other quarterback can do, off-schedule plays. He'll make 4 or 5 of them. They're head scratchers. So yeah, I'm not gonna bet against Kansas City with Denver right now. Not a chance.
Yeah, one of those spots just seems like you cannot fade them right now with how they're playing and with how the Broncos have been all year. Ravens, Cardinals. Here we go. I thought when I was making these picks, and I make my picks ahead of time, that way I don't ever glance at your guys' stuff. I thought I was going to be the only one. I was sold. Only one on the Arizona Cardinals here. But Jay, you're with them as well. Kyler Murray, full participant in practice today. He's not going to play this weekend, I don't think. We could see him in Cleveland next week, but Josh Dobbs and the Cardinals are going to cover 8.5 at home against Baltimore.
Yeah, they're at home. How many home dogs are there this week? Like 11? I mean,
There's a lot.
it's a joke. But, yeah, I just think it's a letdown week possibly for Baltimore. They looked amazing last week. They really did against Detroit. Nobody can deny that. But I do think Arizona will come out, play with a little bit of heart and passion, and keep it close. Maybe get a late touchdown at the end of the game for the easy cover.
Backdoor cover. I love it. Coach Jay, do you think the Broncos are more likely to show off Judy and Sutton for trade value, or do you think Sean Payton is more careful with them because of injury?
Well, I think Sean Payton wants his best players to play, and if they do play, he'll try to give them the best positions to succeed. I don't know what they're doing about as far as trade is concerned or how injured they are, but I know if they're allowed to play by the trainers' permission and the players' permission, then they'll play and they'll use them the best way they can.
They're shopping everybody over there in Denver, Coach. Not a single player on that roster is untouchable. So they're having a shopping spree over there in Denver. Anybody want to come get them, you can get them. So it's ugly out there, we'll say that, to say the least. Let's keep moving here. Bears Chargers, 2 more games. We're humming today. I'm on the Chargers to cover as much shit as I give my guy Justin Herbert. The Bears are going to have a letdown week this week. That quarterback, I don't even remember his name. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't. I'm not buying it. On the road on Sunday Night on Sunday Night Football, JJ, you can save it, man. On Sunday Night Football on the road, doesn't matter who's a quarterback. If it was Justin Fields, if it was this guy, if it was whoever, they got to win a game. I mean, they just paid Justin Herbert all this goddamn money. They're 2-4. They're gonna blow this Chicago Bears team out of the water. And JJ, you're with me, but Coach Jay, how the hell do the Bears cover on the road on Sunday Night Football? Is it because of the Justin Herbert struggles, or how does this happen?
Well, Tyson Badgett is his name, from Shepherd University, Division II team in West Virginia. Now, he's not going to be asked to win the game. Last week, their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, did a great job with them. He was outside the pocket 5 times. They threw about 7 screens, a quick game, a shovel pass. Didn't really ask him to do a whole lot. He did enough, protected the football. But what's impressive about Chicago is this running back, Deontay Freeman, ran like a monster last week. He had 85 yards. He's been on 6 teams. Their line played well. And defensively is where they've really started to turn the corner. Once they got this new defensive coordinator, Eberflus is doing a good job with them as well. Their front is stopping the run. They're a top 5 run defense. I think they stuff Eckler. Eckler has not found a hole yet, and they force Herbert to throw it, and the pass rush for the Bears has gotten better. I think this is going to be a close game, and wouldn't be surprised if the Bears pull it out. They're playing a lot of confidence right now.
Jay, I'm sorry. I think this might be your worst bet all year. I think
I can't believe it. I can't believe I said it either. But if you watch the Bears defense the last few weeks, they are playing really well.
They are. JJ, I know we haven't got to Survivor picks yet, and we're pretty close. I'm out, right? So don't take advice from me. But if I were you, you're on them to cover. I think I might consider using the 2-4 Chargers in this game for your Survivor pick this week, JJ. I might consider it.
I'm on the Chargers in my Survivor pick, so I'll get that out of the way now. I don't think the Bears have any chance. Just because, right now we look at the Chargers the last couple of weeks, and we saw the Bears play the last couple of weeks. There's no reason. I know Badgett's playing right now, but there's no reason why the Chargers should be 8.5-point favorites. All right, this is a trap all over it. They should be maybe 5.5, 6. Then I'd be like, okay, maybe the Bears have a shot to win here. But putting them at an 8.5, a 2-possession game, that tells me a lot right there. What Vegas is trying to tell me. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to believe them here. I'm going to take the Chargers here. Should be an easy win. Maybe they get back on track. Maybe this is just the game that they needed. And if they can start out hot and put Badgett in a situation where they're going to have to rely on his arm to move the ball downfield, they can start stacking the box a little bit against the run, making him throw. It might not be easy for him. So that's why I like the Chargers.
There is no bait in this game, Coach. No bait.
I don't understand. Why should they be a 5-point? They should be 13.5-point favorite. It's a trap the other way.
No, they should be.
Herbert versus Tyson Badgett, for God's sakes.
The way that they've been playing the last couple of weeks, they should not be an 8.5-point favor against any team. I don't care who they're playing. What would the spread be against like Arizona or Tampa at home?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably 5 or 6.
But you're talking Dobbs and Baker Mayfield. You're not talking Tyson Badgett in that game. Like, that's a huge difference. Like, I think Jay's right. Like, 8.5 seems fair because Justin Herbert.
The Chargers are 2-4. They're 2-4. They haven't played good. They can't score. Their offense isn't moving.
The rosters.
On the hot seat.
They scored against the Chiefs last week.
Huh?
They had some good plays against the Chiefs last week. They kept the
JJ.
Terrible. You know how many balls are bad line on the goal line?
Stop it. Stop it. The Chargers are 2-4. They lost to the Dolphins by 2. They lost to the Titans by 3. They lost to the Cowboys by 3. They're losing these games by they're 2-4, and as much shit as I give Justin Herbert, the spread is fair. Stop it. They're gonna blow them out of the water.
I think the spread's a little high for my liking.
Jay, I got your back on that one, man.
No home field advantage either for the Chargers, by the way.
Yeah,
there'll be more Bear fans there than there are gonna be Charger fans.
Everybody's gonna go. Everybody, yeah, because everyone's
17-9 final score. Chargers win.
We'll see. Nobody's.
Did you just add in your head, Grant?
No, I was thinking 17-9. I was gonna
hook will come into play.
I was gonna fire a score prediction back at you. I'm thinking like 34-13 Chargers win this game.
I mean, if the Chargers jump up early on and force the Bears to be one-dimensional and throw it, then you're right. This could be a bloodbath. It could be really, really bad.
See,
but
they do always lose.
Doesn't stop the run very good, and the Bears will be able to manufacture some drives, some 12-play drives between the 30s and kick field goals. I don't know if they'll be able to score, but they'll be able to get in field goal range and eat up clock. That's what I'm thinking.
And JJ, I don't even know why you're sitting here chirping me. You were on the Chargers to cover in this game, man. So you need them to cover, right?
I'm saying, yeah.
The spread is accurate for this game. I'm dying on that hill. Last game on the slate, Monday Night Football. Here we go. Raiders, Lions, and Jay's survivor pick happens to fall in this game. Coach Jay, there is no chance in hell that the Raiders beat the Lions on Monday Night Football.
Nope. Too much stuff going on at L.A. Raider land. Too many people chirping, complaining about playing, not getting the ball, walking back to the huddle. Their tackling and their effort last week against the Chicago Bears was abysmal. I don't know how you can just flip the switch and all of a sudden start playing hard. It's one thing when you lose a close game and guys are playing their asses off, but it's another when guys are just limping, missing tackles. Nobody's pursuing to the ball on defense. Offensively, they're not sticking on blocks. Josh Jacobs is on pace to be the first back in NFL history, I believe, to average less than 3 yards a carry. So this is insane for the Lions to only be 8-point favorites. Lions are going to come out smoking after getting beat up handily by the Ravens last week. I promise you this is a easy one. Nope, I'm not going to say it.
Oh, God.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
No.
Too late.
I'm not going to say it.
No. It's over.
No.
It's
0.00 chance the Raiders have to win this game.
There we go. The curse was broke last week. You said that didn't you say the Colts had no shot and the Browns won? So
they won. Lucky as hell.
Yeah, I still wouldn't put it past you there, but the curse is over.
I remember how upset you got when I said the Browns were going to.
Dude.
No, Coach, don't say it.
It's like you saw a ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost happened, man. If it weren't for the refs, we would have lost that game. JJ, I'm coming here to close, my man. This game's not going to be close. How are you feeling about the Lions after you just generationally faded them last week and it worked out to your favor? I got to say, I'll give you credit where it's due. I've been doing it. It was a fantastic call by you last week that they were going to get killed, but sounds like they bounced back this week on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I think if this was against any other team besides maybe the Raiders, maybe one other team possibly, I think I would fade the Lions again. I think they're going to start slowly going downhill, and it's the Vikings, man. You got to watch out for these guys because they're winning games. They can beat the Packers this week. They'll be right in the mix of things. But yeah, I mean, just like my dad said, there's a lot of turmoil going on in Vegas. Let me say this, Pop. I got to say this. I got to compliment you real quick. Whenever you had a losing bet, because you had the Raiders last week, you come up with a lot of energy on why you're fading the team the following week, man. You just brought out so much in there. But again, I do like the Lions. I think that they're the better team. They can, I don't think David Montgomery's coming back, but maybe they're going to get Jahmyr Gibbs involved a little bit more. That run game needs to get going because it didn't get going against the Ravens, and you saw them struggle in the pass game against the Ravens as well. So if they can't get the run game going, I would be a little bit worried. But with this Raiders team, you might not need to be worried at all.
All right, JJ, fellas, that's going to wrap up the Week 8 NFL betting preview. As always, clips are coming every single day up to the games. Survivor picks, just as a reminder, we've got the Lions and the Chargers. You guys are still in it, so we'll see how it rolls. Appreciate you boys tuning in, and I will catch you guys next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dude, you